Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are enjoying your holiday. My name is MARION MWIKALI NDUNG'U and this is the Love Space. I know the video is not of good quality, but don't mind, right? We are here because we need to end the year in style. This is my, I think, last live before we cross to 2026. I have created content for a while from probably someone who might not know this, and sometimes it's good to get feedback. So today I am joining this live, and I think I'll be here for an hour, possibly more, depending on how you guys engage me, because I would like to hear some feedback from majority of you. So when Marion McCallie channel began, right? We began by putting everything that Marion McCallie is on that particular platform. That means we were doing content creation. Now what we're talking about, the videos that I've usually been doing, and we were putting them on this particular platform. We moved and we started doing a bit of short films, and we have put them on this particular channel. Then we did prayer and we put it on this particular platform. And of course, initially my niche was motivation, personal growth, and relationship. But of course, when everything is combined, as much as yes, you will bring different and variety of people, at the same time the channel kind of has some stunted growth or some sort of confusion, because the people who joined or subscribed to the channel because of the movies now are wondering, why are you not creating movies anymore? Because I didn't subscribe to watch your vlogs, right? Someone who wants to hear only about relationships is wondering, why am I getting a notification, but the notification I am getting is not for me to be for us to talk about relationships. I'm getting a notification probably for motivation. And it was a bit challenging, and I went through a series of classes that I was lucky to go through. And as much as this is a platform that I enjoy creating content for, the honest truth is I would love eventually to monetize it and just make sure that it also pays for some of the services that I'm using, inclusive of the internet. Probably get a better phone that can actually be doing this so that you guys can clearly see me. So of course, when I'm looking at what I want to do, then it means that it has to stop being a hobby. Now, for me to monetize, I also need to be in a place where I know what I am doing. So when you're coming to Marion McCallie in 2026, you will be having conversations on love and truth. That is what we will be having. So what we are talking about in love and truth is more or less relationship based kind of content, where we're talking about love and how authentic love is, and what are you expected to probably do when you find someone that you love. And that is the kind of content that we'll be doing in Marion McCallie channel. Okay, that being said, it doesn't mean that we have totally done away with the other content. It just means that we have moved them. Okay, so if it is your very first time to be here, karibu sana. I'm seeing someone that has joined us. Hi, let me know your name even as we interact. So the other thing that we are going to do is we have moved everything that is not love and truth from this platform. So we have a platform where we're going to be posting our videos, the short films, the feature films, and everything that is related to movies, and that is going to be in Fortizo production. You can also subscribe to that particular channel. That is where we will be doing our content, right? We will begin with short films, then we will eventually graduate to features, and we can even do a premiere as long as you guys are supportive enough to come and watch, right? Hi guys, thank you so much for joining. The other place we have moved our content to is Prayer Beyond Borders, where we pray during the midnight. For those that love prayer, those who are interested in praying and just growing their spirit man, you can also go to that particular platform and subscribe to that, because that is where you will get all the prayer and uplifting content spiritually on that particular channel. We also have the growth space. The growth space is a place where you guys can actually get to grow and improve yourself. So that majorly focuses on personal growth. because I feel like if you are to grow and to become a better person, you need to begin from a place of just knowing who you are. And that has been the biggest challenge probably as an individual I have gone through. I knew who I was. I knew my name, right? My name is Marion, right? But I did not know like myself, because I have been so socialized. Everywhere I go, there's something that I pick that I want to emulate. And at the end of the day, you forget who you are. And that can really weigh you down, because even in pursuing things that you want to pursue, it can be really challenging. So for people who are working on just finding their authentic self, their authentic voices, it is very important you get to a place where you grow yourself, that people don't just tell you things and you follow through. Okay, my screen has a challenge, so let me just open my laptop in a few, and I check the people that are talking and saying hi, because I can't read your names. I'm seeing the highs, but I have I have a challenge with my screen. So give me a minute. I'm just gonna check, and I'm gonna say hi back. But eventually I will know who you guys are. But hi, thank you so much for commenting. And today I did this live because I want you guys to give me feedback. Matters content creation. You see, at the end of the day, there's a platform and there's what I have in store for us, but I want you guys to tell me what you guys would want for 2026, knowing the kind of content I create, because I've said I do relationships, I do motivation, I do personal growth, and then we have now for entertainment the what we do with Fortizo production. But I would want to, hi, there's someone who is telling us they're watching from Morocco. Good to have you. So I said my screen is not proper, so I'm just going to connect with my laptop, and then I'm gonna know who you guys are. Do I have a PayPal account? I do not have, but I'm gonna open. I wanted to actually have one, but currently I do not have, so I'm just gonna make sure that I open one. Okay. um okay, while my laptop is working, um is loading, I'm just gonna continue. So I wanted your feedback. Hi, who is watching from Jamaica? Good to have you. Thank you so much for subscribing and just viewing. I am so excited, and thank you so much for your feedback. It gives me encouragement. It is good when you see people who are so committed in just being so friendly. Hassan, you say I want to donate some funds. Oh, that's amazing. So currently, unless I share a number, I probably will see how I can have a PayPal as soon as possible, and then I'm gonna share, because I really do need the funds in terms of just growing the channel and in content creation and growing them. But thank you so much for your willingness to wanting to support us. It is amazing. Yeah, so I'm really grateful. That being said, I was talking about you guys helping me in getting feedback in terms of like what kind of content you guys feel is good enough, in terms of just making sure that even as I create content for you guys, I am very specific and I am meeting the target in terms of like, I'm not just talking to myself, I'm not just doing things, but I want to do them in line with just making sure that if I share a video on any of the platforms that I have, will be a video that will change your life, that will make probably your life easier, that will teach you something that you did not know. Okay, I am a certified psychologist. That is what I studied for 4 years, so I'm certified. I did not practice it because I swayed. Is it swaying? Really, God orchestrated his own way, and I found myself in the entertainment space, so I didn't get time to I did not get time to do it and just sit down with people on one-on-one, but I have used my platforms to try and just talk to people and just making sure that by the end of the day, psychology has not left me. So the things I talk about are more or less revolving the same thing, and that is who Marion is. And I know that even as we grow and as we continue to create content, you guys will get to see and understand who I am, and it will be an amazing experience. I was saying that I need feedback from you, right? And I want you guys to tell me, in terms of motivation, what are some of the videos that you would want to watch when we are going to 2026? Number 2, in terms of relationship, what are some of the things that you want us to talk about that would help you from a place where you are? And I know that probably you might be in a place where you are struggling with something and you don't want people to know, because probably if you comment, they will know you have an issue. But you can comment on behalf of your friend and be like, you know what, I think this kind of content can be very helpful to a friend of mine because they are struggling in one area or the other. So kindly share with me as we are continuing with our conversation. Yeah, and let us know. If you have a question, you can always ask. I'm here to answer. And I said, this is hi. Someone is saying hi, Marion. So hi to you. I've told you guys I cannot see your names. My screen is is messed up. So I will get to know you guys, but I can see your comment. So kindly, let's talk, let's indulge. I am here live because I want us to have a conversation, so that by the time I'm coming out of here, I know that someone who is called so and so needed a content on this and this, and I know that if I create that video, I am not only helping him or her, but I am helping people who are in the same situation as them. So we can always talk and indulge. I have my book. I am ready for you guys. So kindly let me know. You can also ask a question right now that you need probably clarifications, or you want to know about me, or you want to know about probably the kind of content I do or something. Just let me know. I am here. In the next 1 hour or so, we're going to indulge. And I want to make sure that we have a conversation, right? A lot of us content creators have noticed one thing. We are so good at creating content. When I'm sitting down as Marion, there's what I want to create for you guys, and I have done that. But I feel like I want to be more effective, so that the people that are getting to talk about this kind of, getting to watch the content, know who I am, and I also know who you are and what you guys really need. It's not it's good if I get the subscribers, as I've said, but it's not really about the subscribers anymore. It's more of the subscribers that I'm getting what they subscribed for, right? Yeah, and that's why I'm doing this video today, so that by the time I'm crossing to 2026, I know what I'm creating for you. Now, while I'm waiting for you guys to ask questions, I'm gonna tell you what you are going to find in this particular platform coming 2026. There's a few content I did, and I noticed one thing. When I was having my journey from moving from singlehood to just being married, especially for those that know, in Kenya, we have so many traditions, of course, the culture and the Christianity. There's a place where they merge, and sometimes you find that there's also a place where they have conflicts, because when you're doing your traditional wedding, according to different cultures and traditions, you have to do some rituals that actually, if you look at it from the point of the church, they contradict themselves, and it looks like you're now becoming ish. And then when you go to church, there are things that you need to do that then again defy traditions. And as a person who is trying to honor probably your parents and your relatives and honoring your roots as culture, and then when you come to Christianity and you're a believer and you're a Christian, there's a place where these things, as much as you might try and find a smooth sail, you might find those things colliding. And that was some of the challenges that personally I had, even while I was walking that journey with my husband. And it was really difficult. And I came to realize that a lot of us, myself included, I am coming from a tribe that is called Kamba. Kamba is one of the tribes in Kenya. And as Kambas, there are traditions that we do that I was getting married to a different person who is from a different tribe, and him, he's Kikuyu. And the two of us have different traditions that we do. And there was a place where our elders, because when you're doing a traditional wedding, what people normally from the Kikuyu call the Rorasho, and I think for the Kambas we call it, what do we call it? Okay, I'm not very good with Kamba, but if you're a Kamba and you're watching, please let us know our traditional wedding, what it is called. But that particular traditional wedding, it has its own what are these is it procedures, or what should I call them, that are done. And you see, because we were marrying from different tribes, it was very difficult to also merge that and make that work. And apart from that, I came to also understand that a lot of us as young people who are transitioning from singlehood, and probably you want to settle down with someone, those are not things that you think about until you get into that situation, and then you're like, okay, wait a minute, I need to offer how many goats again, I need to do what, I need to have how many visits. It's not just going saying hi to the parents and be like, I want your daughter, and going to introduce the lady to the parents, to your parents, and be like, yeah, this is the girl I found, this is the one I'm gonna marry. It's more than that. And one thing I want to do in 2026 is just open your eyes in that aspect. I might not know all that every tribe asks for, in terms of, like, I tell you now, if you're Kalenjin or you're marrying from the Kalenjin community, that this is what you will be asked when you go to that particular home to ask for a Kalenjin's hand in marriage. But I will try my best to make sure that I find as many people as possible from different tribes that are rooted in their culture, that know some of these things. The other thing that can be a challenge is also, in the tribes there are what we call clans, and different clans as well have different rituals. Let me not call them rituals, they sound weird when I call them rituals. Let me say, they have different ways of doing things. So I'm from the which clan am I from? Man, these things are hard, and that's what I'm talking about, because you will assume that, you know what, all Kambas do this thing this way. But then when you get to the core, and when you have the elders involved, you come and understand, oh, I'm a different kind of Kamba because I'm coming from a different clan, and they do things differently as compared to another clan that is, of course, Kamba, but they are different clan, and they do different things. They ask for different things as well, and that can actually be very contradicting. So that is why I'm talking about, in 2026, that is some of the things that I needed us to probably venture into, and just to make sure that even as you're getting and crossing over from singlehood into marriage, you're not as confused as some of us were. You know what is expected of you, you know what you can actually be asked for, at least as much as I might not give you the exact things. At least you will know that this is what is expected of me as I move over. So those are some of the things that you guys can watch out and just expect as we go into 2026. However, I want to know, because at the end of the day, that would only help probably people who are internationally and they're marrying people from Kenya. That would help them because they will know. But for people who are not in Kenya, then again, they're love journeys are different, and I would also want to know how I can be a blessing and a help to them, even as we're having conversations like the one we are having today. Okay, so please share with me, I am here because of you guys. I am a content creator because I'm creating content for you guys, and that is my idea and what I would want us to do. But it doesn't mean that I am quote unquote restricted to my idea, because I want to make sure that I'm seeing something Kibet. I'm not saying your first name, I'm saying Kibet. Hi Kibet, niko poa sana. So when Kibet is watching my channel, I need Kibet to find what he is looking for in terms of marriage, love, and relationships, and I need whatever I'm creating to be very specific so that Kibet can benefit, like, from what I am creating, right? So Kibet, you can also share with me, what would you want a channel that is dealing with relationships to probably talk about, so that you can find solutions and answers to some of the questions that you've been having in your life or in the lives of the people around you, because you notice there's a gap that someone has not filled, matters relationship, that we can actually feel. The other thing is, I also have other channels that I can do content for. I have motivational channels, so you can also share in regards to that. You can also share questions in regards to personal growth, because that is something I do. Personal growth can revolve also about mambo mental health, so you can share as well. The other channel we have is prayer. So if you have probably things that you think we can pray about, also share so that we can do that. Okay, Yeah, so I'm waiting for your questions, I'm waiting for your feedback, I'm waiting for your answers, I'm waiting for your directions, because I'm here so that we can work together. Yeah, so let me know what you want us to have a conversation about. You can also give us something that we can talk about right now as we're waiting for the other people. If you're actively online and you have a lot of time to spare, because I know it's the holidays, we can actually chat. You can ask your question, I answer, even as we continue, even as we wait for other people to just come in, and we have our conversations together. My only question is, are you married? Kibet, yes, I am married. As you can see, I am married, and that is why I do content on relationships, because I believe that all of us can get married, can have, because it is possible. It's not as hard as our society has made it look like. It is very possible to have, yeah, to have a marriage and for it to succeed. Any other question? Anyone with a question? I am here to answer all your questions, guys. I am here to answer all your questions. Today, I am here for you. I said I have an hour, but if the questions and the interactions are amazing, we can even do even longer. Yeah, because I'm here to engage with you guys. Why are you sorry, Kibet? It's not a bad thing to be married, is it? So why are you sorry? You're feeling sorry for me or for yourself? Let me know. Let me know so that I know why you're sorry. Why are you sorry? So my laptop has hanged, guys, and I wanted to read the names of the people who are joining me, and some of the feedback that you guys are giving. My phone screen is bad, so I'm not seeing names. I'm actually only seeing the side of the comments, and I want to interact with majority of you. So I'm waiting for your questions, guys. Please comment. Those that are joining us, we are discussing on content creation. If you know that you want us to talk about something that can help you, you can always ask questions. Mko na maswali? Do you guys have questions for me? Any questions? People joining me right now, are you guys okay? You guys well? How was your holiday? Are you guys well? Mko salama? Guys, I'm waiting for questions. I am here because I want us to engage and to have conversations, right? I just don't want to speak to myself. Okay, Kibet, I see that you have written something so long, but part of my screen cannot read. So, my laptop is misbehaving and I would really, really want to know what you're saying. So how do I do this? Okay, in a minute I'm gonna respond to what Kibet you wrote, right? Just give me a few minutes. I'm gonna respond to you. Yo. So I think Um, my phone is really having a challenge, guys. Forgive me. Have a good morning, sister. Kibet, I see the good morning, but haven't read the bigger chunk. Are you, where are you? And why is it morning from where you are? Because where I am is afternoon. That means you're not in Kenya, does it? Where are you listening from? Hi, who is this? What? Okay, let me, guys. Now, at least my internet is back. Let me get to read your comments live, right? Let me search myself and get to read what you guys are telling me right now, because there are things I am not seeing from my screen here, and I want to respond and to know who I'm talking to. Guys, I'm waiting for questions. The three of you that I'm seeing that are online, kindly ask questions. We are a channel that deals with motivation, with no. This particular Marion Mwikali, it's love and truth segment. So we talk about relationships. And I would really want to hear from you, matters relationship. Do you have something that you would want us to talk about when we move to 2026? Do you have things that we can really talk about? Now, finally, I have gotten to see your names. It's Lamek Kibet. Lamek Kibet is saying, why is a very beautiful girl like you I got married early, lakini sahi sina mtu, so wacha nitafute, nitakuja huku tena. Bye, have a nice morning. Okay, Kibet, I did not get married early. I think my face usually lies to people. I did not get married early. And by the way, while we are waiting for other people to ask questions, I'm going to talk about this here. A lot of girls feel the pressure to get married at a young age because they're trying to look for or escape things in their lives that they feel like, if I get married to someone who has money, maybe it will help me because I'm coming from a very poor family. There are others who, because of the pressure of the people around them, they want to get married early. There are those that get married because of the idea of marriage. They feel like, if I'm married, nimefika, right? And that wasn't me. So me, I got married at the age of 28. So I wasn't married early. Yeah, so I'm a bit old. It's just that my skin doesn't crack, as they say, black don't crack, right? So it's not showing, but I'm not young. Right? Sorry, it's 5:50 p.m. in the evening. Okay, United States. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense, because I was wondering, you're saying morning, and I'm like, morning? No, it's not. So in Kenya, it's what's the time? It's 1:52 p.m. Yeah. So I'm good. I'm happy that you're joining us. Okay, you have a good day, and I hope that it's an amazing day for you. Right? I am. Game squad, right? Yes, rada iko poa sana, rada iko fiti. Tuko tu hapa, we are just as in spending time with the audience, because most of the time when we are creating content for you guys, we don't get to interact with you. We just assume that whatever we are creating content is what you guys love, and as much as you don't love it because you love the creators, you're just gonna watch, or because you subscribed. So today niliamua tu, I just come up here and us having a conversation where I get your feedback one on one and I get to respond. So hiyo ndio rada tuko nayo sahi, that's what we are doing. Yes, una do. That's what I'm doing. Yes, I'm getting to know my audience as my audience gets to know me. And that is why I'm telling them, I'm telling these people that are amazing, that I actually create content for, to tell me how they are doing and ask questions so that they get to see the other side of Marion that they don't get to experience. Because I know most of you, when you're tuned into channels that have already created content prior, you just hear us saying, hi guys, how are you doing, you guys are amazing, but you know, we don't get your feedback one-on-one, right? We just assume that by the way you watch, because I've said hi, I'm assuming that you will respond to my hi, and then I go straight into the content that I'm creating, and I never get to interact with you guys. So yeah, so Game Squad, that is what Rada Yetu is. That is what we are doing today. We are getting to know one another. So you can also tell me something about you, where you're watching us from, and also if you have a question. And I'm also requesting for the people that are joining that you guys allow me to know the kind of content that you want us to create moving forward, when it comes to the niches that I do content for, so that I make sure that I create content that is very specific to you guys and that answers questions that you need answered, right? Matters relationship, matters mental health, matters personal growth, matters motivation. That is my niche. So niambieni so that I know, sindio? Aya, acha niangalie those that had sent earlier. Sikuwa nimesoma messages zenyu because my camera, my phone screen is not functional. Elton, I think he already left. Elton, are you there? It's Elton 80 or something. Yeah, so hi, I receive your many highs. I receive your many. Okay. So Game Squad, you've said okay, but you've not asked a question, or probably told us kind of things that you would want to hear us create content for. Yeah, even if it's not something that you would watch, because that is my niche. Siwezi enda kutengeneza za football because I'm not very good with football, or I can't do games. What else do you think, in terms of the niche that I am creating, can be of benefit to probably someone like you, but also to your siblings or your family members, matters revolving around mental health and such things? Let me know. Yeah, and you can ask as many questions, guys, as possible. We have another 30 minutes to go. I am here with you guys until we get to the end of this hour, or if we get time, we can even go more. But how are you guys enjoying your holiday? How was your festive season? How was your festive season? I remember when we were younger, for us, it was about going to our rural areas and spending time with our shoshos and gukas, our grandparents. For those that do not understand our language, our shoshos and gukas means our grandparents, right? And we used to spend time with them, and I can't forget the chapatis that were being cooked during the holidays. And of course, a lot of us used to slaughter animals. I think it was December was a time for killing. We used to kill so many animals, and we would buy new clothes because, hey, Christmas is not Christmas if you have not bought a new outfit. And that was how it was in our times. But these days, there's no, I feel like we don't have that anymore. We are more woke. Yeah, for us. Yeah, I remember there are tribes that would carry an entire family, you know. They would spend all their money on transportation because their homes are so far. It's a day or so away. So they will spend all their time going home and then spending all their money again coming back to Nairobi, and sometimes they won't even have enough to probably carry carry presents for the people at home because they have spent all their money on transportation. So that's how Christmas was, and now it's so different. I am actually at my place. I can't imagine that it's on the 20, is it 29th, and I am around, you know, because normally I would have traveled to our rural area and I would be busy there farming or doing something. So how are you guys doing? Please indulge me. I am bored staying alone. Where have guys gone to? Muko? Peoples, I am waiting for you guys. Let me know. Let me know. I want to interact with people that I have had subscribing to this channel. I want to interact with you guys. Ask me questions. You know, I am here for us so that we can, and I am glad that you guys are also watching so that I am not talking to myself like I usually do when I'm doing the videos. And I have a book that I am writing things that probably you guys would want us to create for 2026. So please let me know. Don't keep quiet because I want feedback from you, because I want to know what you guys want me to create for you, right? So please involve me. Let me know, please. Hi guys, the 4 of you that are joining, share with us. You can also ask a question right now that we can actually talk about. Yeah, we can just be talking about while we are waiting for others to feel free to let us know as they comment. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna open up a few of the things that I wanted us to share, and I will see. You know, we don't have a lot of time, so I want to share something small, but I wanted you guys to give me your feedback first before we talk about some of the things that we have created for you guys. So I'm just gonna open my content, right? Those that have been here know that I have been around for a while, and content creation hasn't been easy, and I think that it has not favored me in terms of like growing so fast, and that has really helped me to stay humble and to know that it's not as easy as people make it. It is challenging, but it has its own benefits as well in terms of not growing so fast, because then again now you get to be very specific and you get to learn your audience, so that even as now you're beginning to now like blow up, you know the audience you have and what they are bringing and what they want in the table. Nyando ishio shihako maguta we oh no do ishio we Mwangi. Please don't be vulgar. Don't be vulgar. We are trying to understand each other and just know each other. So when you're vulgar, it beats the point. But I have read your nini. I'm not Kikuyu, but I've understood. Yeah, so I don't know why you would comment something like that, though. It is well. It is well. So as I was saying, we are going to my content, and I'm just going to talk about some of the things that we have done, so that you guys can know the kind of things that we do, especially if it is your very first time to be here. Okay? So this particular channel we are live with is called it's called MARION MWIKALI NDUNG'U. That is where I have been creating majority of my content, because this is actually my first channel that I began with from years back, and it has really been an amazing time just interacting with you guys and building content that can help us grow and become better. And I'm just gonna talk about some of the things that we did that you guys really loved, because it's a recap, right? As we end the year, it's a recap for us to know what we need to work on as we also get into the next phase, which is 2026. And my desire is that even as we do that in the next few years, that we will grow and become better even in content creation, and make sure that the content that we are creating is content that will be of benefit to the people that are getting to watch this channel, inclusive of Mwangi here, who is commenting very vulgar things. So I'm going to talk about some of the things and just highlights and what I picked and what I learned as much as I was creating this content for you. Some of these videos, I want to promise you, they have been very helpful to me. I remember when I was struggling with trust in my own marriage, there was a lot of what is this called? there was a lot of trust issues at some point, and when I listen to myself speak, it feels like I encouraged myself, and I encouraged myself before time, because I was there thinking, I did this video probably because I was doing it for someone, but right now at the moment of where I am struggling, it is being used to uplift me. And that is why I actually create content. I feel like it is no longer anymore. Initially it was about growing the brand and just getting the to the 1,000 subscribers and getting the 4,000 watch hours, because I felt like I needed to be monetized, and it was more of growing me as a person and not the people. It wasn't about empowering the people that will subscribe. I don't know if I'm making sense. I was creating content, but I was doing it probably because I wanted your attention. I wanted you guys to know that I exist, and I wanted you to know that there's a niche that I do. More or less just becoming what I would call a socialite, quote unquote. But I wasn't very authentic. I wasn't really doing the content, kusema ukweli, because I was trying to empower anyone. It was more or less about me and who I will become and the brand that I'm trying to build for myself. So that was the time I would actually make sure that every time I come before a camera or I sit down and just create content, number one, I was so focused on how my set would look. And of course, because I did not have fans, every time I would do a video, I would cross check it over and over again, because I want it to be perfect. Remember, I'm not doing this for you guys, I'm doing it for me, because I want the brand that I'm putting out there to be a particular kind of way. It's like I'm shaping the narrative. There's what I'm trying to show people, there's a way I want you guys to perceive me and perceive my content. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I hope I am. So when I was doing content then, I had so much pressure to do a lot of things. That was the time I wouldn't come in front of this camera without makeup, because I'm like, hey, you guys will see me in my natural face. It cannot be me. I cannot come before this camera without the lights and everything. Yani I needed everything to work out, but it was tricky. It was tricky, and there was so much pressure to perform, and the pressure was coming from no one, but I felt like it was coming from the people. Kwanza, the minute I got to 100 subscribers, I felt like I was very famous. And now I felt like these 100 people are looking at me all the time, and their eyes are on where I am, and I need to be perfect. It was crazy, it was hard. So when I was doing these videos then, it was, let me tell you, there's a lot of pressure for content creators. And if you're here and you're content creator, manze, I feel you. I feel you, especially when you do a video and people don't watch. It actually hurts us, because we are here thinking, guy, we created these things for you, and you guys are not consuming the content that we created for you. And anyway, it's not fair. Mwangi is saying, unavukia mwaka wapi tukuje? Okay, so do I have a place navukia mwaka this year? Okay, I wanted to go for a service, but I think I'll just be in my house, because I can't go outside. So I'm around. You tell me where you will be vukiering your mwaka. Me, I'll be the one coming, because I'm the one who, according to how I'm viewing things, I'm the one without a form. So ukanichanua, I would really appreciate. You tell me where unavukia yako. I might actually consider coming. I wanted to go for a kesha, but I don't know. I haven't decided. I have 2 days to decide. So I will decide. No, I think it's a day, 30th, and then that first is where I should be now. So I'll think about it, and probably I will think about it, right? Okay, so let's get straight into what we are going to do. We're going to review all my content, and I'm gonna begin with the first video I did. That was 7 years ago. Guys, it's gonna be amazing. I had told you guys I'll be here for an hour, but I'm gonna flow. You know, sometimes when you're creating content, it's one thing to have yourself, you know what you're coming to do, right? But again, sometimes it's good to flow. And because I've started this video, and it's the last video that I'm going to do live before we cross to 2025, let me just spend time with you guys, because I want to ensure that I interact with many people as possible. So if you see me here in your spaces and in your faces for a bit longer, please don't blame me. It's because I love you guys, and I had purposed to spend time with you guys on this particular platform. and that is what I want to do with you guys. Okay, so allow me to do that. I'm gonna begin with my first video, that is, why are you heartbroken? I did this video 7 years ago. I remember why are you heartbroken and don't hate step parents. Those are my first two videos that I did. One I posted 7 years ago, and the other one, according to how I'm viewing it on my screen, is 6 years ago. So I think I posted one a year before, and then the other one, but it was I think, but I shot them the same day. I remember when I was doing this video, I've always loved interacting with people. And in high school, I was part of the peer counseling team, I think, peer counselors in school, because I think that time they put the peer counselors because when we went to talk to teachers and telling them some of the challenges we had, they would turn our conversations to staff room gossip. And I think a lot of students now stopped trusting their teachers, so they began these peer counselors, which now you're talking to your peers, people you can open up to. And even while you're having a conversation with them, I know that majority of us, of course, because we were peers, we did not really have solutions where we can say that I was advising them right. But it's always nice, even in counseling, to just sit down with someone and listen, because it helps them. So that's where my journey began. So when I did these two videos, my friend and I were working, I remember, and the electricity went. And when the electricity went, we were like, we are idle, we are in the office, and she had a camera. She was a gospel musician. Hi, Nelias. Yeah, wherever you are, I love you, and I thank God that our paths crossed, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have created these first videos that have really been, I think, the stepping stone towards now what we are creating and what we will create in the future. Guys, never take your friends for granted. I'm always the type that never really gets, I feel like I don't appreciate people enough, because the input they have in my life is crazy. So Nelias is one of those people that I thank God that I encountered. God needed her to be there so that I can actually have that boldness and that opportunity and actually post a video. And it was very encouraging when I posted it. You see, it got 715 views, and that really encouraged me and made me feel like, oh, kumbe I can do this. And that's now where the journey began 7 years ago. And why are you heartbroken? I named it because I felt like um, a lot of us go through heartbreaks. But we go through heartbreak. Sometimes it's never about the other person, it is always about us, because we are the ones who give people that permission and that place in our lives. Of course, people will always heartbreak your heart. People will always probably do something that will cause you to question why you gave them that space in the first place. But it is always nice to be in a place where you guard your heart. So when I was doing Why You're Heartbroken, I had actually been heartbroken myself. Something that people don't know. So someone that I loved had heartbroken my heart. Alikuwa amenivunja roho hiyo time, and I was feeling so heartbroken. And when I did Why Are You Heartbroken, it's because me personally, I was heartbroken. I had loved someone, I had given them my heart, and of course when you're younger, you have not experienced so many heartbreaks. So of course, even the littlest heartbreak is very painful. When you grow older, it becomes easier, but because those ones are some of the first things that you encounter, it is very painful, and it was very painful for me. But I needed to talk to you guys and tell you, why are you heartbroken? Yeah, because there are so many reasons why. And yeah, that was the first video that I did. The other one was Don't Hate Step Parents. I'm a benefit, and I am a child that God really had mercy on, right? And he gave me an amazing stepfather. I love him, I love him, I love him so very much. He's the one who walked me down the aisle. That was an amazing moment in 2020, and I am so blessed. God really knew why he brought him into my life. He was very fun, but at the same time, I really needed his guidance. We have become the best of friends. I don't think anyone can even doubt that he's my father. It's just that I know, and of course now that I actually allowed people to also come into my life and I have exposed it, now you guys get to know. Otherwise, if you find us even in the house, my sister got to know about it when I did the video. She actually thought we were sisters, okay? And that is the kind of love that I received, the kind of protection that I got. And I know that a lot of stepchildren don't get to experience this kind of love, and it's so unfortunate because there are people who are so heartless, and they treat children that they have found with either the spouse that they get married to or married by, and they treat them so harshly. Although sometimes I tend to believe that even we as the children are a handful. We tend to put in a fight because we are trying to fight for the position of the parent that is absent, and we are trying to exercise and also show this person that is coming in that, you know what, there's already someone in that space, you know, especially if it's the mother that is missing. You're trying to show your stepmother that, you know what, there's a mother that was there and you're not the first wife, or you are not the wife, you know. If it is the father that is coming in, you're trying to show this new man that, by the way, there's a man that was before you, you know, and he gave birth to us and all that. There's just that rebellion. So we as the children don't make it easy for the parents. So when I was doing this video, I was like, yeah, don't hate your step parents, because there are also people who have loved someone, you know. I was looking at it from that place of, you know, when my dad and my mom were courting and they were knowing each other, I'm sure that my mom probably mentioned me, but he loved her. There's what he saw. There's, before I was introduced to him, they had their own connection. And I shouldn't hate my mom for bringing my dad, who is just coming into my life by matter of extension because of a love that the two of them share, right? So as children, we need to be also open-minded, because sometimes we find ourselves in situations where it's not our fault. It just happens, right? And life continues, and it has to be continuous. So of course, don't hate your step parents, because it's not nice and it's not very good. You can watch that particular video. It's gonna be a blessing to you. It's not as detailed as I would want it to be. It's 6 years later, and I feel like there's a lot I can add to it and just help someone who is a stepchild, and also to speak to step parents. I did another one. As we move along, you will get to know that I did a rendition of that, but I still feel like there's a lot we can share when it comes to step parenting and blended families, because there's a lot more to share and to experience. The other ones I did was just Love Can Be a Mistake. This is a book I read from one of the pastors that usually come to visit our church. His name is Pastor Danson Twande. He has written a book that is called Love Can Be a Mistake. So once I read the book, I did that particular video, and I did part 1 and part 2 because, of course, of the timing, because I felt like the video was long. However, if asked, I would have done just one video. But Love Can Be a Mistake is very important, and I think that if you guys can get the time to find that particular book and read it by Pastor Danson Twande, it can really be a good read for someone who feels like love is all that they need to survive challenges of life. Yeah, because according to the way he elaborates it, is that love can actually be a mistake. It can be a mistake for you to love someone. You can imagine if you're loving a thief or something of the sort. Thieves need to be loved. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but of course, when you love them, there's so much that you will go through that necessarily you didn't have to, right? Because you're forever consciously worried about them. They might go out probably. So of course you will always have that, your heart is palpitating all the time. Once or every time he leaves the house, you're worried because he might go for a mission and he never returns. So of course some of these things are things that we need to have conversations about. The other thing I did was my dress, my choice. You know, there was a time 5 years ago, right? That saying was so much in Kenya. people were like, you know what, as ladies, we want to dress our own way, we don't care, you know, even when right now I am going to buy a dress or I dress in a particular way, I'm doing it for me, not for you, not for men, so you guys can stop telling us that we should not dress in a particular way or yada yada. But I came to understand, you know, I'm a lady, right? And I used to dress very skimpily, but I really enjoyed it. One of those things that I cannot say that, oh me, I regret wearing short dresses. I'm not the one. If anything, even right now, I would wear them. But the problem is that right now I have increased in size. So once you wear a short dress, you attract a lot more attention when you're thicker than when you're smaller. And that time I was smaller, so it felt really nice to just wear something, let me say, indecent, right? And also because of the entertainment industry, I just felt like the shorter the better. And that was me. But of course, when women are dressing now, like if I'm not doing content creation, if I'm not on set, maybe shooting a movie or something, when I'm just around or I'm going for a function, I will dress in a particular way because I want to be addressed in a particular way now, right? But then I think my dress, my choice, a lot of ladies actually say that I'm dressing for myself, but the honest truth is sometimes we also dress knowing that we will get some form of attention, and that attention we feed from. And it helps us to feel like we're beautiful, you know. Even when I'm looking at my comments and I see someone who says you are beautiful, it just encourages you. It makes you feel nice, and you're like, oh yeah, I am beautiful. Thank you for affirming me, you know. Some of those things are just things that come so easy for a lady. And as much as we pretend that they are not important, they are very important. So my dress, my choice was coming from that place where I was really asking, not just you guys, but also myself, am I dressing the way I want to dress because it's about me, or at the end of the day, there's a part of an attention that I want that I can work with, right? Yeah, so I don't know about you. Have you ever been in a place where you tell yourself, I'm dressing for me, but at the same time you're dressing because you want to either impress someone that you like, you're dressing in a particular way because you know what? You want to kill some people, you know, you want people to talk about you, you know. And I see the Gen Zs nowadays, how they dress. They're like, you know what, we are here, we are showing off our thighs and our legs, you know, because we have them. And of course that can be seasonal, because when you're younger, you want to show off your body, and that's on you. So my dress, my choice, go watch that video. How to boost your self-esteem, I did 2 videos. I noticed that a lot of us do not have a very good esteem. We don't value ourselves highly because of the things that we have gone through, because of the people who are in our lives that God entrusted to take care of us when they were younger. Probably they didn't do a good job, and your esteem is very broken, and that of course will lead you to doing so many things that are wrong. So when I was doing these videos, I was like, you know what, let's learn about esteem and how we can probably boost it, because hey, things have happened to us that have caused us to want to doubt ourselves and doubt the God that created us. And now we are very, very, very frustrated, and we have very low self-esteem. So you can go and check those videos out. They're very, very amazing. And then I talked about you attract what you believe. I don't know if you guys have gotten to watch that video, but it's as amazing as the title. The other one was secrets to end period cramps, and one of the things I was talking about is you knowing that you are just in your period. You are not giving back, you know. The enemy has taken advantage of our wisdom and our knowledge, and because you hear that people are complaining, oh my tummy, oh my what, why are we cramping? The cramping and the periods come in. I know that there are men who do not know why we actually have our periods, you know. I was having a conversation with a few men, and they were like, why do you guys always bleed every other month? Kwani, what's wrong with you? Because they did not get to do biology. So do not blame men if they do not know. So this is what happens. Even some ladies, by they just experience it, and they experience the pain, but they do not know why. So when I was doing this particular video, I was doing it for people who do not know what is going on with their bodies, especially the ladies. So one thing is for sure, God created us to incubate, to be mothers, to nurture, to be fruitful. And our womb is created in such a way that every other month there is an egg. Unaona venye kuku, the chickens lay their eggs every day, or is it after how long? I don't know. I've never had chickens. All I know is that they lay eggs. So, like we also have our eggs that we release every other month. And the egg is now what we have, what we are talking about, the cycle, the menstrual cycle, is that the egg moves all the way from the ovum, passes through the fallopian tube, waiting to be fertilized so that it can be incubated in our womb, and now then you begin the gestation period of getting the baby. Once that does not happen, ladies, you know, the womb has already prepared itself. It has already started to create blood that would, if the seed would have been fertilized, yeah, if the ovum would have been fertilized, then it would attach, and that attachment now would be where the umbilical cord and then in the placenta would become one. So now, because that has not happened in that particular month's cycle, then now it begins to shed and the blood comes out. Now, a lot of us experience so much pain, and we are told, oh, it's because of what are these fibroids? It can be because of cysts. Some of you are told you have so many, what are these? There are just so many explanations as to why you are having periodic, why you're having cramps. But you know, it should be seamless, it should be painless. I was among the people that, by the way, initially, I would have serious cramps, to a point that, especially the first and the second day, one, I would not eat, and secondly, I would do nothing. I would just spend my time sleeping and staying in bed because I am so irritable. I don't want to hear or see or smell anyone because the smells are just so bad. And that was me. So when I was doing this video, it's because now I was more enlightened. I'm like, okay, wait, I'm not pregnant, am I? No, I'm just having a cycle, and this thing will happen every other month. So for 12 months I'm gonna experience this, especially if I don't get myself pregnant. So how long am I going to be frustrated? How long am I going to have cramps just because what it can be? So of course I was sharing some of the things that I feel like we should take authority over our bodies. Guys, do you understand me? And speak to that body of yours and tell it to shut up, because at the end of the day, it is about you getting a seamless an easy, what is it called, an easy cycle, because you're going to experience this for so long before you are even pregnant or you are even thinking about that. So you need to actually go and watch that video and get to know some of the wisdoms that we are talking about. However, I would want to do another one probably and talk about how scientifically, or probably some of the herbs and some of the things that you can do to probably manage your situation if you continue to speak to your body and you feel like, okay, this is not working, then what else can I do, right? Yeah, that would be a very nice thing to talk about. The other thing we did was wedding must-haves. I've told you guys, I noticed that a lot of us do not know some of these things, and I feel like it is in a place where we need to talk about them, and we will talk about them this year. And that is very important. I also discussed about how to find the right spouse, and I know that some of you do not know who the right spouse is for you. But of course, when I was doing this 4 years ago, I wasn't as equipped as I am right now. But one thing I know that we should learn is that if you yourself don't feel ready, then you will not find the right spouse, because the right spouse will only find you if you yourself is the right person, right? So make sure you work on yourself before you're looking for the right spouse for you. I talked about sex in marriage and the benefits that sex offers. I noticed that because as I was doing this video, I was in my first year of marriage, I think, because this is 4 years ago. And I noticed that a lot of us, especially ladies, we have so much what are these excuses when it comes to sex. Probably you're tired, or headache, or whatever, backaches and everything. But the men do not hear that language. For them, it's like they're sexual beings. They would want to have sex as many times as possible. And of course, they won't understand us when we're telling them, oh, I'm going through cramps or something, or I am going through this and I just want to rest. Probably I had a long day. They also had a long day. But for them to find relief, they need to have sex. So, of course, I did that video because I was trying to help married women so we can come out of excuses. But of course, I know it is not as detailed as I would want it to be. Remember, this was 4 years ago. We can probably do a better one. I talked about love languages. I did a part 1 and 2, and this was to actually help couples who are trying to understand their love language and understand the love language of their partner. One thing I need to highlight, even as I am reminded of this particular conversation, is that as much as couples, okay, for example, my love language is acts of kindness. What does this mean? If my husband wants to show me love, I prefer when he is helping me out with chores and just helping me around probably the house, or if I am doing content and he decides, by the way, you know what, I feel like I can help you here, that speaks love according to me. My husband, on the other hand, is a physical touch kind of person. So a lot of couples do this, and he prefers to be touched, and anything that just shows him some touch. For him, physical touch is very important for him. So that works for him. So the problem that we have with a lot of couples in marriage and also in relationships is the person's love language is what they are trying to do for the person, for their spouse, but it doesn't work that way. This is what I mean. I have given you an example between me and my husband. So if I do acts of kindness to my husband, as much as that is my love language, it is my way of being shown love. If I do the same for him, then he won't feel the love that he wants to feel, because acts of kindness are not his love language. So if I want to speak love to my husband, apart from saying I love you, is making sure that I touch him here and there once in a while or all the time, just to do what he loves and what his love language is, right? So couples need to understand that even as we are learning about love languages, it is not for you to know your spouse's love language and then now you are trying to force your own love language on them. It is you learning your spouse. You can actually do it by research or asking, right? Because for me, if someone just does giftings and someone brings me flowers, I'll be like, okay, thank you, but it doesn't hit as much as when he's like, I'll help you clean up, because that the cleaning up speaks more to me than the flowers, than the gifts. So the gifts I will receive and I'll be like, thank you, and I move on swiftly, let's move on. But when he does something that touches me to the core, like just acts of kindness, oh my goodness, that one now, whoo, different kind of love communication there. Okay, so couples need to understand their partner's love language, and then do what they want to be done to them. Okay, then I did a couple of videos on shifting, because of course here I noticed that a lot of people who are in their mom's homes and everything needs to move. I moved at one point, and of course there are things I didn't know, so I did a video or two actually to help you, number one, know if you are moving, what are some of the things that you should consider. Do you want to be close to your place of work? Is it about staying far away from people? And those are some of the logistics that you look at, and where you're moving at in terms of transport and security. Is it safe? Those are some of the things that we were talking about when we were talking about relocating. And then in terms of house hunting, is the environment conducive? Do you have water? And some of those things, do you have the basic needs catered and provided for in terms of like the place that you're going? So that I did, not for anything, but just to help the single people that are probably thinking of moving out, right? Especially if you're staying in your mother's house. Now, after that, we did wrong reasons why most of us are getting married, and I also did self image and acceptance, because again, we need to know who we are and we need to love ourselves. I can never be anyone else. You can never be someone else. As much as we admire the socialites, as much as we love our celebrities, and as much as we look up to them, and probably some of us wish that we were them, or we wish we had their lives, we also have our own lives to live. And when I was doing this video, I was like telling myself, you know what, Marion is this, and as much as, yes, I will do the makeup, as much as there's one or two things I can do to improve and make myself look prettier, there's always that aspect of me that can never change, and I need to embrace it and love it. And that is when I did the self esteem and self acceptance video. And I wish that you guys could get the time and just go and watch that, because you need to understand, you need to love yourself. I know that when you look at yourselves, there are things that you don't like about yourself. All of us have those things. There are things we wish that if we were given the opportunity to work on, we would change. I'm promising you. And some of us now, we have money that we can actually do that. And I know that there are people who have gone ahead and done that, because they feel like, you know what, if I would have just removed some of the meat here and just taken it to my butt, you know, I would work and I would be better, and I'll be better looking and I'll look better. You know, some of us have worked on our faces. We have removed the double chins and whatever else. Plastic surgery is here to help us. Some of us that are very blessed, busted, you know, we want to reduce ours. And those ones that have big ones, they don't want, now they want them to be big but not saggy. So as much as they are big, they want them to go be firmed so that they are pointy like this. And there is what you can do, but self-acceptance is very important, because as much as you work on that and you don't love yourself and you don't appreciate yourself, you will do all that work but you will still feel a void. So it's important to make sure that as much as there's something you can do, you love yourself as badly, yani you love yourself so much. The other thing I did was who are you, and who do you belong to. That this was a video that was very personal to me, because it was about my identity and how I identify with Christ. I think I'm starting to feel angry, so let's hurry so I can go and eat. The other thing is myths about marriage, because there's so much myths that we do not know about marriages. And I did Valentine date ideas, common mistakes in early marriages that people do not know about and probably would watch out for. And some of these videos, I feel like we didn't really exhaust on the conversations, but I'm sure that even as time goes by, we will work on that. So the other thing I talked about, what are the causes of confusion during dating, relationships, and courtships. As I told you guys, this is a very important conversation that I want us to continue having. And even as we continue in 2026, we're gonna probably get deeper into that, because I feel like majority of us do not go to premarital counseling, and we get into marriage and we're very frustrated and we're not happy, but we need to actually enjoy our marriages. I talked about principles of a good husband, because now I'm the wife, so I'm talking about the husbands. If you guys are husbands, please let us know the principles of a good wife that you want, and we can actually have conversations. I talked about traits of the one, a successful marriage that we need to talk about. I talked about what is marriage oneness and why are people settling for less in our generation and in our economy. We also did videos on understanding peer pressure and how to deal with it, because there's a lot of pressure everywhere, and how to know when you're ready to start dating again, of course after probably a heartbreak or something of the sort. Then I did other videos. This, now we are in 2 years ago, how to overcome limiting beliefs, you know, how to develop a growth mindset. We talked about unlocking your motivation, just making sure that you're motivated every other time you are doing something. And that was totally amazing. Guys, you guys have left me alone to talk to myself. Can you come here? And there are so many videos that we have talked about. So I don't want, let me read some of the latest ones that we have done. And there are so many other videos we have done, guys. Go and check them out, right? And I think that was a year or so ago, we got to even have my husband do a video together with me, and that was amazing. And I know that we discussed probably how we met, but we will come again. He has been so busy, but I wanted us to come back again and talk about some of the challenges that we have gone through in our marriages, not to expose ourselves, but so that some of you can actually learn from our mistakes, so that you can do better in your marriage, and also to talk about some of the highlights, the benefits, the good things. You know, we don't always talk about the negative. Let's also talk about the positive things, the things that we've been able to achieve together because of working together, because at the end of the day, we came together so that we can be a team and win together. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the wins that we have had since we got married, and that's a very good conversation. We talked about mental health, that I sat down with one of my good friends, and we had such an amazing conversation, and I hope you guys got to learn. Okay, Mary Fidelis has her own channel, and she was such a blessing to us, and she was just walking us in matters mental health and some of the challenges that we go through, some childhood traumas and all those things, and we had such an amazing conversation. So we have done so many videos all throughout the 7 years we have been here in existence, and I have gone through some of the topics that we discussed because I wanted to know your feedback on what are some of the things that we need to touch on. Recently, in the last month, in the last 6 months, we talked about amazing conversations. We talked about the biggest marriage killers that are there in our time today, and vulnerabilities, on how you can actually get vulnerable with your spouse, and how vulnerability is a strength and is not a weakness. We talked about what is the perfect length, of course, probably for those who are asking how long should I date before I get into marriage, and we talked about that. We talked about how you can actually end a relationship because you feel like it's not right, or you feel like you have been led of the Lord to do away with it because it is not serving you or serving the person that you're dating. I talked about navigating in-laws, because once you marry even the in-laws that you're getting, and how you can navigate that. We talked about you having communication in marriage. It's more or less, or relationships basically, it's about communicating. Like right now, I'm trying to communicate with majority of you that are not online, and I'm still here talking to myself. So right now we can call this very bad communication skills, right? But if there's someone watching and responding, then that would be very good communication. So far I am doing very poorly when it comes to communicating with my with my fans. However, we soldier on. We also talked about you can't fix someone who doesn't want to change, because they don't want to change, so you can try and fix them to do something that they don't want to do. We talked about some of the red flags that are there that some of us don't notice and need to notice. We have talked about how does heartbreak hurt us, and how we can actually work on that and make it something that we can actually heal from. We talked about how marriage is not a reward, because I noticed that a lot of us, can you imagine someone who is getting married because they think that once they get into marriage, they have found everything they were looking for. Let me tell you guys, marriage is not a reward for anything, especially for people who are single and you're like, oh, I can't wait to get married. Ladies, marriage is not a reward, I promise you, and I kid you not, because once you get there. Last night's episode of Master Fang was sorry guys, my son just woke up and he has gone to his cartoons. So marriage is not a reward. You are in a place where you are actually working because it is work. So don't think that it's a reward. You need to go and watch that video. I was very vulnerable when I was talking about it, because it was so heartfelt. Like, I thought I was married, and so I'm done. It's like I've achieved something. It's work. We also talked about you learning to forgive yourself every day, because mistakes are done to you and by you, and you need to forgive yourself and forgive others. We also talked about how to make boundaries and create boundaries that are healthy for you and even for the people around you. So that has been the content journey of Marion Mwikali. As you have seen, and probably even as we were having those conversations, at that particular time when I began, I was majoring on motivation, personal growth, and relationships. But recently, we have now put Marion Mwikali to just be about relationships. So it's more of love and truth. That is the segment that we will be having in Marion Mwikali. And I would really want to know how much this channel has been an impact in your life. I know there are some of you that have been with me through the journey in this particular life. There are some of you that began with me, and I want to thank each and every one of you, those that are subscribed, those that are not, and the 587 subscribers that I have had for the last 7 years. I'm so excited. Yes, it's a long time. Would I wish that I had more? I do. But again, I know that people only gravitate where there are results, where there is consistency, where there is, of course, value. And I feel like as much as I feel I had value, I did not have consistency. and I had so many excuses as to why the consistency hasn't been there. That being said, I would want to submit to you that I am here, I am going nowhere. Content creation is something that I love doing, not necessarily because I want to be in your screens and be a celebrity, but because I want to make sure that your life is never the same once you encounter my channels. Matters relationship, I would want you to grow and become better, and that is why I'm doing content creation, and I will continue to do it. In 2026, expect consistency, expect more videos, expect realism. It's not what can work for you, it's what probably I have done and worked for me. And I will also engage us in just doing challenges together and growing ourselves and making ourselves better, because I know that it is possible and we can really get to enjoy our lives in full. So my name is Marion Mwikali Ndung'U, and I am so excited to have you, and I'm so excited to see that lives are being transformed and there is change and there is growth in the lives of the people that uh, I am experiencing. So I'm so happy. I am so humbled, and I thank the Lord for you. I thank God for each and every one of you, the 587 subscribers, the many that have gotten to that place where you have watched a video or two. You have just sat down, spent your minutes on what I have created. I am grateful. As we finish 2025, I want to say a big thank you. A big thank you to you and to your family, because you know what? I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be creating content today if it weren't for the likes of you that are always tuned in, that are always watching, that are always sharing and commenting, and just asking and informing people who are in your lives and telling them, you know what, this girl is doing ABCD. And I'm really I'm feeling empowered, and I'm feeling blessed to have you guys. Now, um I have come to the end of this particular live. It's an hour past, an hour and 20 minutes. So I've extended with 20 minutes. I said that we were going to be here for an hour, but I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. If there's anyone probably that will join in right now and has a question that you would want to ask before we conclude, that would want to say something before we conclude, I am open to hear from you. I can't wait to create more content with you. I promise you we are going to try and be better in terms of the quality, in terms of the content, that it will be not just quality but even content that has quantity. You will listen to it and indeed it will help you. That is my end goal. And as we enter 2026, pray for us. Ensure that you remind God that we are here, so that he continues to grace us, and apart from that, that he will continue to provide for us and keep us healthy and strong, so that we can create content. Right now when I'm thinking about 2026, which is 2 days to come, I'm thinking about how I will be effective. But what happens if I get sick? Then I won't be as effective as probably I would want, right? Because I'll be so engaged. If the people around me are not healthy, there will be a distraction. So yeah, while you are praying, pray for us. Remember us. As content creators, we are humans. We get tired. We experience burnout, and sometimes we just continue pushing because we have to create content for you guys. But nonetheless, I am so grateful that you guys are here. I am grateful that you guys have walked the journey with me all these years, and I know that greater things are yet to come for me and for you, right? While I am achieving mine, my prayer is that you achieve yours as well. The goals that you have set for yourself, not just in 2026 as we approach it, but even prior, before that. There are those things that you probably wanted to do. There are some of us that are keeping to check on our long-term goals, and of course they are things that you set previously, but you're working on them on the future. And of course 2026 is another year for you to continue working on probably your end-term goal. And my prayer is that you get a step closer even to achieving your goals. So my name is Marion Mwikali Ndung'U, and I am so happy that you guys were with me all this time. And I just want to wish you a happy new year. Even as we get to 2026, let us purpose to do better. Let us purpose to empower each other. Let us purpose not to compete, but to make sure that we are complementing one another. Those that are doing well, let us celebrate them. Let us cheer them up. You know, even while we are working on ourselves and just making sure that even us, we are doing the best that we can to make this world a better place. Right? I love you guys. It has been an awesome 1 hour and 23 minutes since we began this live. And I am so excited that you have walked this journey with me for 7 years. Thank you for the 584 of you. Is it 84 or 89? Thank you so much for subscribing. Now, penda sana sana sana. Receive my love and happy new year. Happy new year. Continue enjoying your holiday. May you prosper in all things. May God watch over you and bless you. Annie, you guys are amazing. And I know that in 2026, we're going to do much better in Jesus' name. So I love you guys and I'm so excited. I'm seeing 3 of you that have joined in right now. You're coming as we are concluding, but I just want to appreciate you even for subscribing, even for just coming to this particular live. You guys are amazing. You encourage people like me. You know, you don't know how much you're coming to watch this video means to me, because it just encourages me. I'm like, oh, I'm not alone. Actually, there's one person who just came. You know, I saw 3 people join in. I saw 5 people just come in. I saw 20 people who just came in and said hi. You know, it's amazing. Thank you so much for making my day. Thank you so much for being in this platform. God bless you. Aki, thank you. I can say many thank yous, but you know what? I mean them, because I am humbled every time. Every time I get to experience you guys in your own unique way, I am so privileged and humbled. Thank you so much. Enjoy your holiday. I love you. I love you. I love you. Crazy. Right? So crazy. God bless you and do you well. Until another live where we can actually interact. See you on the videos, because I know they are loading. Right? God bless you. Bye bye. Ciao.